金のため、私は実績のため。1609年に定められたドラゴン接触禁止法により違反者が禁錮100年。
助けてー。
私らの強さ、人事部に見せつけるチャンスでしょ。マジックナンバー75、ガトリングクラウン。
Hello and welcome to another episode of The Lads Review. The Lads Can Read. We are reviewing, this is a little bit of a jump since we are only on like volume 4 of Bleach, but we are reviewing Tite Kubo's new sometimes series. Like season 1 is out and I don't know if he's doing, season 2 is announced, but Kubo's kind of crazy. We'll talk about that later, but we're reviewing the first 5 chapters, well, the one shot in the first 4 chapters, because of course it's numbered weird, of Burn the Witch by Tite Kubo. I'm Lucas, and I am here joined by the secondary lad, the silver medal lad, the great we have the lad at home lad, Connor.
Can't believe it's not lad. Do you think... Like, quick side tangent. Do you think if like we were a podium of lads, do you think Morris even makes the podium? I know there's only 3 of us, but I think like Jacuzzi or like somebody else would make podium over him.
Since Kuz has been on like 3 episodes, I think he podiums over Morris. Speaking of Chainsaw Man coming soon, maybe we'll see.
I mean, for sure. It honestly might just become a Lucas and I thing, because like we've established, we're living together, and although it's been 2.5 months since our last video, and we've lived with each other for those last 2.5 months, we should get off our lazy asses so we don't have to make 16 freaking The Lads Were Lazy Again videos.
Yeah, I guess we should address that elephant in the room. Yes, it has been, probably by the time this video releases, 3 months since our last video. Sorry for that. We're in our senior year of school, college, I should say. We're not minors, don't worry. And we've been, focused on like school and stuff, and not what's really important, which is
this channel,
our YouTube channel. Yes.
Well, there was a few attempts for us to get videos going. Like right when we got back, we were to have our friend FPS Newt, or Garrett, he's yet to be on the channel, join us for we were to play Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, and this guy, while like right at the start of recording, was like gonna do this stupid bit of like, hey, can you hear me? And then we lost 45 minutes of audio because he unplugged the mic at the beginning of the session.
Yeah, it was a great time. And anyways, we should probably do channel logistics like at the end normally, because this is probably a big turnoff to like new viewers. Anyways, that's okay for now. Let's just dive right into Burn the Witch. So Connor, as you know, I'm a huge Kubo fanboy, so I obviously adored this. What did you think of it? Especially compared to, like, your very limited...
Bleach.
Yeah, and you've only read, like, early Bleach, so this is the same author, like, 15, close to 20 years later.
I know, I really liked the humor, and, like, I can see where some of the humor comes in through, like, in early Bleach, it doesn't have as much as, like, this kind of, like, sticky humor, I guess, would be, like, the, you know what I mean?
I don't know what you mean.
Like the
sticky humor?
Like, sticky.
Oh, I see.
Like the whole character, I guess we'll get into that stuff. Like, I want to see your knickers.
Oh yeah, that guy's
And then the
great.
dog starts talking about it. I don't know, I really liked it. It was interesting. It did feel like it was a little all over the place. It felt like there should have been lore that I knew going into it.
The rules of the universe are very strange in this, because
Reverse London.
Because so you have regular London and then you have reverse London. And in reverse London there are dragons that are used for everyday tasks. But you can't touch the dragons or directly interact with the dragons if you're a regular person. And if you do, you go to jail
for 100 years.
For 100 years or get killed. Or if you get touched enough and you become dragon-clad like our main character, you're like kind of fine. Like,
well, is it because he was exposed to a dragon for so long that it is a unique case? Because normally they're like, oh, we'll just execute him, but because his like you know, they basically did a breathalyzer for how much you're near a freaking dragon.
Yeah, I thought it was because he got, like, directly bitten. Which, again, that seems weird, because I feel like any dragon could bite
7 years of exposure, too.
10 years.
10 years, my bad.
Yeah, I like our main guy. Like, just looking at the cover art and stuff, I kind of thought he was going to be bland and, like, just kind of be a backseat to the two girls. But he, like, holds his own. He's fun. I think we should talk about, Yeah, let's talk about characters, but first let's go for the main two characters. So we have
three, really.
Yeah. So we have the guy and then the two witch girls. So there's Noel is like the main one, and then Ninny is the blonde one,
the pop star.
Yeah.
Which was so weird.
Yeah, she's a pop star in the real world, and then
we have Balgo and what's the dog's name?
Oh god, what is the dog? The dog might be my favorite. I just love how Kubo draws him. Like, he's such a, like...
He gives me
derp.
such pretty big vibes of the dog from Chainsaw Man.
Pochita?
Pochita. You know what I mean? Like, early Pochita when Pochita was still
Oh,
Pochita.
before Pochita could talk, yeah.
Yeah.
I see that, yeah. Yeah, what do you think of Noel and Ninny?
Like I said, like, it seems like there's a lot of a relationship that's developed that, like, you're thrown into. And it seems a little weird. I mean, I liked them as characters. Like, I like the constant references where, like, Ninny's like, you've never been to Japan. Stop, like, talking about it.
Yeah, a lot of times you'll see in anime and manga, even when the series isn't set in Japan, they'll somehow connect it back to Japan and Japanese culture. And they kind of do that here, but in a much more fun way than the usual stuff. Where it's like, yeah, Noelle is like, she's a British girl, but she's just like a giant weeb, and it's really funny. Like, her ringtone is the Dragon Ball credits music.
Great.
That's incredible.
There's the recap music.
Oh yeah, recap music. You're right. But yeah, I really like both, and also again, it's Kubo, so their designs are like insanely good. Like they look
really great.
They're so cool, and like it does the thing that I love when anime and manga do, where there's like a uniform, but then they like show their personality by like personalizing their uniform in different ways. Where like hers, Noelle's is more of like a traditional like school uniform, whereas Ninny has like the big stockings and like the like very, shorts like, and stuff.
Very gal-esque.
Yeah,
Yaru. Yeah, it's Yaru, right?
Yaru, yeah. And they have very different. And then, Ninny's like kind of tsundere-y, but just like, just kind of like generally belligerent. And then like Noelle is very like calm and cool and collected.
Well, she does beat the tar out of Balgo.
Yeah.
Granted, Balgo deserves it.
Balgo, I love how British this translation is. I'm sure like the fan translations didn't do this, but like the official Viz version we're reading, he's just very British.
I want to see your knickers.
It's so good. Osushi is the dog's name. God, I love this dog so much. I'm looking at the panel. He's so happy. He's a good boy. He's a good boy. But yeah, so we're established that the girls are kind of like low-ranked witches, so they're just doing like menial labor stuff. And then Balgo fumbles into two dragons. First, his dog becomes a dragon. The dragon explodes out of the dog, and so the dog is just like a husk. But Balgo insists on carrying it around, and everyone's like, Balgo, that dog is dead. And he's like, he's just tired. Let him rest.
And then they had the whole thing where like their childhood friend was actually a dragon, which is crazy that like the dragon would just chill for that long.
Yeah, it was a very interesting twist that his friend has died and has been a dragon longer than he knew him, and he like makes this big connection about like, he says like, well, I knew you longer than the original guy, and you've always been nice to me, so yeah, I guess we're still friends. And he's like, yeah, he has this really nice emotional moment, and then they just kill him anyway.
Just blow his freaking head off. Or whatever
and it's like played for comedy, but it's kind of sad. It's interesting. I love the art of the dragons in this series.
Oh, they look so good.
They're very, very cool. They don't look like hollows from Bleach, but like you kind of see the same like design principles there. That's most of the first chapter, and then just so by the dragon exposure or the getting bitten, he becomes dragon clad, which nobody really knows what that means, but that means he's gonna hang out with Noel and Ninny for a long time and live with them and stuff, and they're both very unhappy about that.
Is he allowed to go? They never really talk about it, but is he allowed to return to normal London?
I would assume not, like, unless he's accompanied by them and stuff. I think he's just kind of stuck with him now. I also and then just at the end of this chapter, just the dog's back. He's just okay. He's like a dragon dog now, but he's okay. And he just sits on Balgo's. He's such a good dog. I love him so much.
Well, it's weird because like it's not a very long series and not a whole lot happens. It could definitely feel like a pilot episode of a show.
It's the release story of this is super interesting. So yeah, it's the one shot, and then he released like quote unquote season 1, and I don't know what rate it was released at, if it was monthly or if it was weekly for just a month, because there's only 4 chapters after the one shot. And then at the end it says season 2 coming soon, but that was like over a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. I don't remember.
See, in like the just on the app, because I know you read a physical copy of it.
Yeah,
it just says the end. It doesn't like hint at any sort of.
So I wonder if that means Kubo changed his mind, because that's very because the end of but the physical volume just released. So yeah, the physical version of this just released like a couple weeks before we were recording this, and I got it. It's beautiful. It's like long for a regular volume. It's not like a double volume or anything, but it's kind of long, and it has like a sleeve, and it's just very pretty. There's a nice color spread at the beginning, and if you know anything about Tite Kubo, he's very good at just making color spreads look very nice. But yeah,
and like the first real chapter, like you're introduced to Ninny more, and like
we see
personality,
what Ninny's real life is like,
and it's very like done, like almost video game-esque, based on their like points and achievement points and stuff like that.
Yeah, so
it's just very like it almost becomes weirdly like slice of life as dragon witches can get. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're getting what their daily life is like doing, because really their jobs are in the positions they're in are supposed to be pretty like menial labor-y. Like they're just collecting stuff from dragons. It's not a big deal. And then we get Osushi and Balgo back, and Osushi can just grow wings sometimes, and apparently he only does it when he's upset, but there's like a lot of things Balgo does that upset him. Like making fun of him and stuff. Oh wait, I found the page. Osushi only sprouts wings without warning when you imitate his cry, you sneeze, you burst out laughing, and then the implication is that there's a lot more, but like he's still a good boy. And then we get the reveal that Balgo being dragon-clad means like he's going to attract big, dangerous dragons a lot of the time, probably. And then we get the introduction of like, well, I forget, we're early enough in Bleach, you don't even know what the Soul Society is, but these guys feel very Soul Society-esque, where it's like a team of very powerful, very interesting characters who are part of a bigger system that's controlling the world. And we don't get a lot of time with any of them except for Bruno Bang Knife. What did you make of Bruno, Connor?
Such a Chad.
He's pretty...
I'm going to have to fill out 2 incident reports.
I love it. Yeah, he's just talking about the paperwork he's going to have to do for killing people.
Yeah, we're a little bit ahead of where we're at, but basically they're like... Around. The upper echelons, like, dude, we got to kill this Balgo guy because insane dragons keep coming to him. Mm-hmm. But then, like, they're sent on a mission to, like...
A girl's been raising a dragon, and they want to track her down. And we find out that dragon is being raised by Ninny's...
former bandmate, Macy.
Exactly. And so she obviously doesn't want to kill her. And it's so funny because Ninny was like, oh, let's kill Balgo. We gotta kill Balgo because he interacted with this dragon. And then when she's with this girl, she's like, I'll just sweep it under the radar if you want. Like, it's fine. I loved the scene where Balgo's riding on the broom with Noel, and he's just like so grateful to be there and talking about how like if he moves just a little bit, he might get to touch a boob. Like,
what a wholesome, perverted individual.
He's very honest, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And then Noel's just like, you realize you would die if you fell from this height, right? Which I think is a great comeback.
Yeah. Anyway, they get to the scene where Macy is, and then the bang fire dude pulls up, and he's like, what in tarnation is going on here? I'm here to take care of business, basically.
And then we're already halfway through the series, which is crazy. Yeah, again, like every chapter begins with like gorgeous color spreads. Like, they look so nice.
Oh yeah, even sometimes in the middle of the chapter 3 color spreads quite enjoyable. But then, like I was saying, like, the beginning of the 3rd chapter, you get a bunch of, like, the conversation between one of the higher-ups and then, like, the leader of whoever was, like, the older guy with the mustache and Ginny and their squad. Like, and you get, like, lore that it seems like you should, like, as a reader, you should be, like, privy to.
There's
Like,
weird stuff about the guy who's in charge of Noel and Ninny. He got promoted at the end of the one-shot and then got de-promoted, but he's, like, implied to be very important and powerful.
Because, like, we'll get to it, but, like, the way it ends is weird.
Well, oh, wait, how did you feel about Ninny using the word, or Noel using the word cringe in the official translation?
I must say, your dye job is so cringe. I just got to that panel. What do you say? I don't know. I thought it was kind of tough.
I kind of like all the modern lingo
Slang,
in this.
yeah.
Like, it's goofy, but it's fun.
Bangfire is, like, he gives me such, like, very stereotypical degenerate from anime. So, like, very typical, like, Tanaka, basically Magma from Black Clover, and, like...
It's so funny because we're not, like, anywhere close to there. We're, like, probably a couple hundred chapters away. But when we meet Grimmjow in Bleach, you'll see, I'm pretty sure Kubo just missed Grimmjow and just wanted him again because, like, they're basically the same character. I hope we're still planning on continuing our Bleach series, so hopefully we get there at some point. But continuing on, yeah, so this dragon, like, Macy genuinely, like, cares about this dragon. It seems like Balgo can use, or not Balgo, Bruno can use dragons. Like, he summons his own dragon to fight, which makes sense because they always talk about how, like, people in this world, especially people part of this, can use dragons. So he brings up the dragon. He gets the permission to kill
Balgo.
The super cool color spread at the start of chapter 4 of, like, their squad. I like the little gnome man. But yeah, so he gets permission to kill, but then you get the big thing where her dragon, like, it digivolves into its final form.
It molts its skin in the moonlight, is the
Yeah.
Cinderella, and, like, the implication is, or it's, I guess it straight up says it, but, like, all of, like, legendary, like, story tales are, like, to have dragons associated with them.
Well, there's specifically, like, what is this? 7 dragons named for the fairy tales.
The monarchs. Whatever.
Yeah, and this is one of them, which is, it just gives them an excuse to have this, like, huge spectacle. And then Bruno gets kind of serious. He puts on his little skull mask and he starts,
okay,
like,
that's
charging
literally,
in there.
I think it's licked from Black Clover. Literally has a mask like that.
Again, Grimmjow has a skull face from Bleach, so, like, I'm pretty sure it's just Grimmjow.
No, it's not licked, but
like, Google Grimmjow real quick from Bleach. It's spelled weird, but I'm sure it'll autocorrect. But anyways, yeah, we get a really cool fight between him. Like, all the, like, dragons and how they're drawn and shown to fight is really, really cool. I hope we get to see, assuming this series does come back at some point, I hope we get to see Noel and Ninny
Zora.
fight
Tell
with
me
bigger dragons.
that is not just Zora from Black Clover.
I kind of see it.
And then Grimmjow?
Grimmjow, yeah.
Grimmjow.
And make sure you include Bleach, because I'm sure it won't spell right away. Yep. Like, but just their personalities and stuff.
They even look the same with the same hair.
Yeah, yeah. Especially when Grimmjow was drawn, like, later on with Kubo's more modern art style. That's something I want to say. What do you think about, like, how Kubo's art has changed from
early Bleach is wacky to read.
It's very, like, angular, and it's a lot more cartoony.
This looks a lot better. Obviously, it's
prettier,
20 years as a mangaka.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, drawing and stuff, you'll get better at it.
Yeah.
And your art style will change.
A lot of people don't like it as much because it's, like, more just, like, anime-y and more, like, traditional, whereas the older stuff has, like, a very unique look to it. I think they both are good, but I think this is kind of more aesthetically pleasing, you know? Like, it's very pretty to look at. But yeah, this fight kind of continues on
for a while, and then it wraps up with, like, them, like, the guy, like, Bruno being like, hey, if we freaking stop this, I won't kill you and I'll promote you. And they're like, nah. There's
a really, really weird moment where Balgo gets a sword.
Yeah,
which
that's not explained.
I really like the idea of it, but then he doesn't even get to use it because unknown to them, their mustache boss guy just snipes the dragon and just kills it. But it's clearly established that in the future, Balgo's going to fight with them more. And then Macy is now dragon-clad, so she's going to get to hang out with them too. And so we've kind of got like a squad. And then the whole council and stuff decides that we need to keep Balgo alive, because if he can attract these legendary dragons, then we can kill him.
Yeah.
And then it's said, like, very subtly that Balgo might be the son of a famous person from this world.
Yeah, the line's like, "Junior, you scoundrel, I'm relieved to find do not overestimate the son of a hero."
Mm-hmm.
And then you get a cute moment between Noel and Balgo at the end.
And then that's where it's left off, which is so weird, because I'm pretty sure it was in the official chapter, and then it was definitely in the physical release of this. There's just a picture that says, like, Burn the Witch Season 2 coming soon, which I don't know if Kubo changed his mind or if he's just going to revisit this in a while, but this is all that's been out for like over a year, and I think it's very fun by itself. I think it definitely has the opportunity to like be expanded into a bigger series, but for now I think it's a very nice, fun little story we have.
I liked it. I definitely would read it if it started coming out more and more. And it's not like he and I, Lucas and I started reading, separately, but the Red Riding Hood story, or the Red Hood.
Red Hood, yeah.
And that was like whatever, and I lost interest and eventually ended. So I don't think...
Is it over? I heard rumors it was getting canceled. Is it officially
canceled? I think it
canceled?
got canned, yeah.
That's upsetting, because the story wasn't incredible, but the art was very, very cool.
Well, it looks a lot like late My Hero art.
Yeah, it's kind of My Hero with a more fantastical twist, but it's fun to see what mangaka can do. I wish I didn't bring my physical copy to where we're recording, but there's this really cool note from Kubo at the end of it where if you read the later Bleach volume's notes, it just talks about Kubo being sick and like tired and sad all the time, because that's what being a mangaka weekly in Shonen Jump does to a human being. And he just says, like, I am so genuinely happy to be at the point in my career when I can make manga at my own pace, in my own time, how I want to do it.
Yeah.
Which is just so cool to see. Like,
you gotta imagine that's what Oda feels like, too.
I think, yeah, I mean, I'm sure Oda still feels a lot of pressure because, like, he's not done with One Piece, but, like, I think it's nice to see that these kind of creators are kind of getting to do what they want. And I think Kubo has that more than anyone right now, because, like, yeah, Bleach didn't end exactly... I'm sure I've told you about, like, Kubo was kind of sick, and nobody knows for sure if it was Jump or him, but Bleach ended sooner than was kind of intended. But I think he's happy with how Bleach came out, and I think now he can just do what he wants to do, which, like, this, you can tell he just was, like, having fun making this. And then, like, I think I told you there's a Bleach one-shot this summer that was just, like, he just hints at a new Bleach arc that could happen, and it's, like... That's got to be fun to just be able to do whatever you want in your like artistic career. Unlike, I don't know, I might read too much into it. But I know I've talked to you about this, but like I feel kind of bad for Kishimoto, who the Naruto author, because like he finished Naruto and like seemed kind of burnt out by the end of that, like anyone would be after 700 chapters, yeah,
20 years.
And then he like starts a new series with a new artist. That, like, I haven't tried to read it, but I've heard it's been just, like, critically panned. Like, I've not heard anyone say much positive about it other than, like, conceptually. And it got canceled fairly soon. And then Boruto, which was being helmed...
own train wreck.
Yeah, was being helmed by his assistant who he left it with. But then it kind of wasn't doing well, and it seems like to bring back interest, they then brought him on to write for it. So now he's kind of back where he was, working on Naruto again.
Yeah, literally. And, like, the Boruto story is just all over the place. I think one day we should just, like, deep dive into Boruto. And,
I'd be totally down to review Boruto. Cause
rip it apart. Like, I'm talking, like, catch up to the series.
Yeah, I'd be up for it. I mean, I want to give it a chance because I've heard there's fun stuff in it. My problem is just I hate Ikimoto's art so much. Like, I think it's horrifying looking.
Do you think, like, random side tangent thought, we'll close here in a sec.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think a lot of the time these guys have, like, plans for their stories? Or do you think they get like pressure from Jump to continue and push out their stories further than they want to?
I think it depends on like a billion factors. I think it depends on what their thoughts are going in, what their editor is like. Because like I'm sure you've heard all the stories of like Toriyama's editor, who was like, he wanted the old man and like white guy androids to be like the main villains, and then the editor was like, these are ugly, I don't want them. And then he invented Android 17 and 18, and he was like, these are cool, but they're not that threatening, they're not a good major villain. And then he had Cell, and then Cell went through all his transformations to the final phase. And so like I think there are some times where editors like really direct the story, and there are other times where like an author totally knows what they're gonna do. Like I feel like that happened with Chainsaw Man.
Well, that's why it ended, and that's why it's huge now, because it's a well-written, to the point, and like it got its satisfying end.
Mm-hmm.
It's not satisfying, but like.
But it like tells
it had,
a complete
like, a good
story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because I don't know for sure. I think a lot of stuff is done, kind of on the fly. Like, yeah, I don't know. One Piece like definitely wasn't intended to be this long at the beginning, and then Oda just kept coming up with ideas and kept writing more.
I think he enjoys writing One Piece.
I think he loves it. There's this quote, and it floats around all the time just because it's really sweet, and it's from only like 2 or 3 years into One Piece. But he says like, there's a place I go to dinner with my editor once a week, and on Sunday nights you can see kids huddled around their TVs. What is the exact? He's like, they're watching One Piece, and when I see that, I never want to let them down, or something really sweet like that.
That's awesome. Because he's only like 42, right? 30s?
Oh, he's probably 40-something, but like that's because he's been writing One Piece like since he was like younger than us, which is insane. I think he started at 20, yeah. Which we could do a billion videos on just like what it's like to be a manga artist, and like not that we know, but like just because it's a really interesting topic to explore. But that's why I really like the Burn the Witch, because it just feels like Kubo
writing it.
Yeah, enjoying writing again, because we'll get to it, and I don't want to spoil anything, but I love the final arc of Bleach, but you can tell he's like burnt, yeah, and the art doesn't degrade at all, but just like how quickly stuff wraps up, and like like I said, his comments and the volumes and stuff, he wanted to be done, and I don't blame him for doing it. Dude, I can't like drop a picture a week, let alone
a whole story a week.
Yeah, I can't even imagine.
Well, on that note, look out for future videos. We're coming back strong. Probably you'll see some more manga-based stuff, some anime-based stuff, probably game stuff.
Quick, I wanted to include, we have not watched the Burn the Witch OVA. I assume that's like a straight adaptation, but we have not checked that out yet, so maybe we'll review that in the future. I'm guessing there's not that many differences between the manga and the anime, but I could be wrong. But just putting that out there, I'll probably take like a clip of that to make the opening of this, but we have not watched it, so put that out there.
Yeah. I mean,
but yeah, I don't think we really canceled any of the series we've done, because
except for the Pokemon.
Well, yeah, the Pokemon one, but that was kind of a prototype. But like, we still want to review more Bleach. We still want to review more Spy Family. We're just like taking our time with those. Kuz and I are probably going to come back and review some more Berserk soon. But yeah, as always, send us recommendations. Tell us what you're interested in if you want. We're happy to adjust to that, but if not, we will see you all in the next video. Sign off.
Goodbye, guys.